fight. Trying to see where this life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
Life indulge in the affairs of this world. Give me James 4:1. Right, and that's what the Lord, he called us out to bring your heart about this world. Give me John chapter 17, and verse number 1. All right, and again, the main message is to again have the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man come out this world. Hey, sisters.
What's your nationality?
Hey, sisters, y'all got 1 minute for the Lord? 1 minute for God?
1 minute, sister. 1 minute.
All right, read this. How you doing, bro? You know your nationality?
Mexican.
Mexican? Now, do you believe in the Bible?
Huh?
You believe in the Bible? You don't? Why not? As a Mexican, you don't believe in the Bible?
Why?
Yeah.
I really don't have a reason for it. I feel like it's just, it speaks so, it's just hard to be a Christian.
Well, that's the thing. The Lord never called me when you be Christians.
So then why is there Muslims, Christians, Jewish, all types of different stuff?
Well, that's the inventions of man. Those are man-made created things.
Yeah.
All right, give me the book of Sirach 33:3. The Lord never gave us Christianity. The Lord never gave us Catholicism. The Lord never gave us religion.
Yeah, correct.
The Lord, he gave us from the foundation the laws of God.
I feel like if I even came out, I should go to heaven. You know what I mean?
Well, what is good according to the Bible?
Huh?
What's good according to the
Who
Bible?
wrote the Bible, man?
Your ancestors wrote the Bible.
How do we know that, though?
Let's get 2 Esdras 13 and 40. So this is where history comes into play at, that the so-called white man in the church and the school systems will never teach our people.
Right.
I got it. Hold on, let me answer the first question. So in reality, your ancestors actually wrote the Bible. All right. If you look on the sign, where is it? If you look on that sign right there, you'll be an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. Now give me Judges chapter 10 and verse number 1. Now the Issacharites, according to history, prophecy, and archaeology, they go back to the so-called Mexicans. You know,
So you preach with the real Israel people, right? I'm sorry. Right? That's the Israel stuff?
You said what?
Israel, like the country Israel?
No, Israel is a people. Give me Genesis 49, 28.
I'm pretty sure the Israel people are killing a bunch of kids right now.
Again, well, give me Revelation 2 and 9. That's a lot of precepts. Give me Revelation 2 and 9 right now. First whole thing, give me Revelation 2 and 9. That's the thing. Those people that's in the land right now, those aren't the real people.
Right.
Those are the colonizers. They came in that land and they removed you out that land.
Right.
All right, let's read.
Book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
You know what what the word blasphemy means?
I have no clue.
Blasphemy is a filthy, disgusting, wicked lie. He said, I know the blasphemy or the great lies of them that say they are Jews. Read on.
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
Was that in our homeland?
And are not.
The Lord said those people in that homeland, they're not the real Jews.
At all.
The real Jews is us, brother. The so-called black man and Hispanic man. Now again, that original land, that's your homeland. Give me 2 Esdras 13 and 40. What happened is, again, it's a lot of things that played out throughout the time of history. Your ancestors actually left that region and came to America. That's why you had the so-called Native Americans. They're originally from, well, not originally, but they reside in the Americas. Why you got the so-called Puerto Ricans, the so-called Haitians, and the Dominicans. They reside on these islands, Southern America, so-called Brazil, the Americas, the different islands. It's because your ancestors actually traveled around to these islands. All right, read this.
It's the book of 2 Esdras chapter 13 and verse 40.
Bring it out.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land.
So it said the 10 tribes. When you look at the sign, you got something called the Northern Kingdom. Now from Ephraim all the way down to Naphtali is known as the 10 tribes. Because those tribes got carried away from their own land. Again, you was originally in Israel. What are we doing?
Carried away out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Right, because in 722 BC, your ancestors got put into slavery under the Assyrians by Salmanassar V.
I have a question for you.
I got you. Let me finish this out. Read this.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
And what?
Into another land.
It said they got carried over waters, came into another land. Read on.
But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So that's real history, that your people left that region and went to a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right.
Where's that country that man never dwelt in prior to y'all going there or coming here? What country was never discovered until the so-called Mexicans and Native Americans?
Mexico? I don't know.
Yeah, Mexico. Right, you got the Americas.
America, USA.
Right, so-called USA.
So I have a question for you.
Oh, hold on, but does that answer your question though?
I mean, yeah. But I have a question for you. So how do you feel about the Palestinian shit and the Israel shit going on?
I mean, it got nothing to do with me.
It doesn't have nothing to do with you? So religion can't step in and help the kids die?
I mean,
we're talking 60,000 people, bro.
I mean,
isn't Judaism a religion?
God's chosen?
Isn't Judaism a religion?
Honestly, man, I don't even know, bro.
2 Kings 18.
I don't even know. I'm not going to debate you on this. Religion is not really my thing.
That's the point, brother. Get into Exodus 20 and verse.
I'm sure you know more than me. I'm going to keep it above with you.
How many times have you read the Bible?
Hold on. Again, brother.
What Bible are you reading?
Hold on, brother. You asked me a lot of questions. I want to answer one at a time.
You're right.
You know, you can't be asking 1,000 questions.
No, you're right.
You want to be sincere, get all of the answers. You know, you gotta have patience. So I'm gonna answer the first question. 3 First Kings 18. Slack. 1 Kings 18 and verse number 20. So what you're gonna come to find out is that the gods of these other nations, religion, who these people worship, is not real.
Right.
That's their own vain imagination. All right, they sat back, they created their own god, they thought of it in their head. They said, you know what, I'm gonna serve this. Again, that just because you serve it, just because you serve something, you see the so-called Palestinians. Where's Allah? Aren't they praying? Don't they go hard for Allah? They blow themselves up.
They're all dying right now.
Right, they're all dying, but they go so hard for him. Yeah. So he's not real. Read this.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 20.
Yep.
So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, verse 27. Right. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking or he is pursuing.
So you have the Israelites. Now, actually, start at verse 25. So you had Elijah. Elijah was prophesying to his people because, in a nutshell, they made a bet. All right, if your God, if he's real, then he'll cause fire to come down upon the altar. If the God of the Bible is real, he'll cause fire to come upon this altar. So, in a nutshell, to sum up the background, they was calling upon their God, and nothing happened. They're screaming up to the sky, so read on.
Verse 25, right? And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal.
Right, so the prophets of Baal, that's what he's saying. The same thing with what's that rock? Right, they cry out to Allah. They crying out to the rock God. You listening, brother? It's the same spirit now. How they crying out to their God. Read on.
Choose you one bullock for yourselves, right, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your God.
He said, call on the name of your God. Every nation has their own God. I guarantee 100,000%. If they called upon the name of their God to fire come down from heaven, it won't happen. If they called upon their God to save them in time of affliction, it won't happen. Why? Because their gods are idols. I'm gonna finish this out and I got you. Read on.
But put no fire under. Right. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Brawl.
People call upon the name of Krishna, Allah, white Jesus, white supremacy. Read on. Buddha.
From morning even until noon, right, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice.
Oh, what?
But there was no voice.
There was other God.
But there was no voice.
What you're gonna come to find out is that there's no other God but the Most High. Your God. Again, brother, your ancestors wrote this Bible. The so-called white man didn't write the Bible. The Chinese man didn't write the Bible. Your ancestors, according to your literal bloodline, wrote this book. Right. It was certain accounts that they scribed out for you to learn to this very day.
Hey.
You got another question?
No, I don't. I mean, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
You got a question?
I actually named my son Elijah, so maybe later on he'll lead me down the right way.
Well, brother, we got one more verse for you. This is Sirach 6:13. All right, Sirach 6:13.
So you guys Christians? What are you guys? Christians?
We are the Hebrew Israelites.
What is that?
I said we're the Hebrew Israelites. That's what your national. It's not a religion.
Right.
It's not a damn cult.
Right.
It's your actual blood lineage. We are the Israelites.
Us?
Us.
Like Mexican, black.
Right. This right here. all the Hebrew
Why are we
Israelites.
keeping them away from it though?
Let's read this.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 13. Separate thyself from thine enemy, the Lord said. Separate thyself from thine enemy.
Now, how come we gotta separate?
Separate thyself from thine enemy.
I got a question, brother. Why do you speak English?
English?
Yeah.
Because I came here.
Well, how do your ancestors? Hold on. How do your ancestors speak Spanish and English? What happened?
Why? Why?
Yeah, why? What
I
happened?
came here. We all came here, bro.
Did we come here speaking English?
No.
Or was that?
No.
All right. So if we didn't come here speaking English,
I can't make my
hold on. I just want you to answer all these questions, brother. I just want you to answer. So if we didn't come here speaking English, how did English and Spanish get placed upon our people?
That's just life, bro. I mean, what do you want us to speak?
Brother, just
what language you want us to speak?
Brother, because the so-called white men and white women came and they colonized you. And they raped you for, as a matter of fact, turn the sound around. And she mocking you. And she mocking you. She's mocking you. Look at this, brother. She said, yeah, we colonized you. Look at this. Oh. And y'all was talking about her people's slavery.
You talk Spanish?
Read this. I don't want to talk Spanish.
Why not?
Because that's the language of your slave master.
Right.
I don't want to talk English. Read, look,
Bro,
just
you
look at
wildin',
this.
bro.
Just look at this. And that's why you laughing, because you're really scared of her and her people.
I'm not scared of her.
You're really scared of her and her people.
No, I don't.
And look at this sound, brother. How do you feel about this? Her people did this to your people.
No,
And you're laughing at
Bro,
it.
that's the past. That's not her
First
doing it.
Maccabees 11.
I feel like you guys are being
Now we got Mexican coons. Mexican coons. Bro, look at this sound. You telling me you okay? You can laugh at this. This your great grandmother, your great grandfather. And you okay with the so-called white woman laughing at you that this happened to your people. And you say you love it. Read this.
Wow.
He freaking said it earlier. Can we just go?
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Check it out.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. So Baal's priest said, lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11.
Check it out.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
So, and again, and that come with the so-called black and Hispanics. So there's going to be a wicked man, a coon, amongst the tribes that want to kneel and bow down to the so-called white man. So knowing that your ancestors got put in slavery under the so-called white man and white woman, what are you going to do from there? As a matter of fact, pull up the lynching of the Mexicans.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Let's cool that down.
I appreciate you.
How do you feel about them putting your people in slavery?
It is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
That's life, man.
That's life? That's life? And then let them pull you away. That's why a lot of so-called Mexicans have to die in the last days. A lot of coons have to die in the last days. Brother looked at the sign and laughed. And then she laughed at him. Then she looked at the sign and laughed. And he said, I love it. Read this.
The first recorded cases of the lynching of Mexicans in the U.S.
In the U.S., he said, I was born here. Okay, he's trying to go around every point of them not being colonized. But yet, even in America, you still have the lynching of the Mexicans. We doing? Y'all got time for the Lord, sis? Time for one verse?
One verse, sis.
Y'all got to repent and keep God's commandments. And come out of America. What you know about the Fringes? Read this, man. I like your Fringes. Israel, man. Read this.
The lynching of ethnic Mexicans in the U.S. emerged during the late 1840s and continued through the 1930s.
From the 1840s to the 1930s. Yeah, that's about 100 years. 100 years of so-called Mexicans being hung, being lynched, being brutally beaten. And you can just be content with that, with a nation that came over here and just destroyed you. We doing? What's more than that? We doing?
The lynchings were roughly around 5,000 Mexicans.
Around what?
Around 5,000 Mexicans.
Over 5,000 Mexicans, around 5,000 got lynched by the hands of the so-called white man. Yeah, that they counted, that they found. You know, Esau dealt with hiding bodies and hiding them under churches and all this wickedness. That's only around 5,000 that they found. How much more that they didn't find, or they didn't want to count, or something that they hid up so they want to see that much evil? So again, the so-called white man, I mean, again, their days are numbered. The so-called white man, your days are numbered. You're going into slavery for the rape, robbery, and murder that you did to the so-called black, Hispanic, and black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child. So read this, what you got.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods.
That's why he in that mentality, in that mindset that he in. Because the so-called white man has had your mind in captive. Now you serving other gods. Now you serving the so-called white woman. Now you bow down to another nation. All because you wanted to leave the law, statutes, and the commandments that the Lord has set up for you from the foundation. Read on.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Jump up to verse 46. Jump to verse 46. Hey, brother, you got time for one verse?
Come on.
See yourself from that side?
Anyone on this me, just come on with it.
Well, have you heard about the Israelites?
I have.
What you know about the Israelites?
Not a lot, but I heard about it.
So according to the Bible, brother, do you believe in the Bible? According to the Bible, you will be a Hebrew Israelite. God's chosen people. Give me Psalm 33. All right, Psalm 33 and start at verse number 10. So let me ask you this, brother. As you look on this sign, you see affliction, you see slavery. What nation of people did this happen to?
People of color.
So yeah, it's people, so-called our people, the so-called black man. Now, would you call it a blessing or a curse?
I call it a blessing.
You call it slavery a blessing?
I call it a blessing because whatever you go through helps you get to where you're going. If you don't have no test, you'll never have a testimony. I call it a blessing. Now, what you want to call it?
Well, let's hold that. Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. A real blessing, brother, is when your people is reigning over the other nations. When you have peace in your land. When you have no black-on-black violence and crime within the communities. That's a real blessing. Us as a state of a people, at the conditions we're in right now, we're cursed. We're going to show you what a blessing really is, how it sounds, how it feels to truly be blessed as a people. Because again, the so-called white men in the church, they say that you're blessed, but when you come to reality, you're going to come to realize that we're not really blessed. Read this.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations.
That's a real blessing. The real blessing is when you're set on high above all nations, where every so-called black and Hispanic man are living in buildings like these, right above all nations. Read on.
Above all nations of the earth.
On that. So that's a real blessing. So knowing that, brother, according to the Bible, are we blessed as a people or are we at the bottom?
Okay.
Give me Psalm 33.
So my knowledge of what I've known, it takes a great follower to be a great leader. First, you got to learn how to be humble and at the bottom before you learn how to rule and lead. Most people that's leading are already in power, so they don't understand the struggles that a poor black man or young poor people go through, period. Let's take color out of it, because color is just what we're born into. But the way you live in your life from your heart is how God is. So we truly don't know, but they try to tell us that Jesus was white and this is white and that. But at the state of where they lived in, as far as being in the desert and being under the sun, you know that's kind of be impossible for them to still be light-skinned in that fashion.
Well,
so to me,
hold on, brother. So
go ahead.
Now remember, you said you believe in the Bible, right?
I do.
So you want to go according to the Bible. Okay. According to the Bible, you have a nation of people. We're going to read this for you. Read this, Psalm 33.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 3. Amen. Verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted.
So some people the Lord he blessed and exalted. When you look at society, as multiple nations that's exalted. You have the so-called white man. He's exalted. He runs everything. You have the so-called Chinese man. They can set up hoods. They can set up stores in your hoods. The so-called Arab man. He can set up gas stations in your hood, in your area. They're blessed. They prosper. Read on.
And some of them have he sanctified and set near himself, but some of them have he cursed.
But it's a certain nation of people that the Lord has cursed, that he set at the bottom of society. And that's why when you look at this sign, brother, that will be us. The Israelites. Hold on, brother. I'm not done. So again, the Israelites, our people, were set at the bottom of society. We're cursed. So that's the point, that us, we will be God's chosen people. According to prophecy, the Israelites, they got put into slavery for not keeping God's commandments, and the Lord cursed them for that. We are those cursed people. I mean, just look at the sign. All right, being in slavery and captivity.
I believe that, but I believe in this new generation, this new world we live in. We have to cut out division, because division helps us not be together as unified. So once we unify, no matter what state of flesh we in.
Well, who has to unify?
Good people.
Good people.
Good people. Good people.
What if
good people?
What if he's good?
Everybody has good people.
Can we unify with him or him?
I can.
No, brother, you can't unify with him. You can't unify with the so-called white man.
Okay.
Right.
That's what happened when you unify with the so-called white man.
Listen to me.
Read this.
What I'm
Hold on, brother. You said you believe in the Bible. Go see what the Lord said. Read this. Leviticus 20:26.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people.
The Lord said he severed. When you look at the sign right here, brother, these are all 18 nations. Now, the Lord said he severed, meaning he cut apart a certain people to be holy. Sever meaning separate. So when you say, well, y'all got to come together, the Lord didn't say come together. The Lord says you have to sever and separate from them. The so-called Chinese man, the so-called white man, you got to separate from them, brother.
Right.
Us being joined unto them got us put into slavery.
For real.
Did you know that we got put into slavery under the Chinese man, under the white man,
Right.
under the Arab man,
Right.
under every nation under heaven? Why? Because we wanted to cleave unto them.
Real union, because you are believing and you believe in God. So I don't knock nobody who believes in God. But I believe all nations should learn how to work together, to get it together. I understand what you're saying.
But what verse is that, brother?
My verse, because I have a close relationship with God. When I pray, he gives me revelation. So
What verse is that in the Bible? That's my verse.
Every book that's
What
made.
book do you have?
Every book that's made, I got the Quran and the Bible.
You got the Quran and the Bible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give me Isaiah 34:16.
You not listening to me, but you want me to hear you.
No,
But
brother, you going on.
Hold on. I'm going to just tell you.
Brother, you an Israelite, all right? You got to repent and keep God's commandments.
Okay.
You can't believe in Allah and
I believe
the
in the
Bible.
Creator.
Right.
I believe in the number one Creator.
Read
I
this.
believe that God
So-
is universal.
So you believe in the Quran?
I believe that he has nicknames,
believe in the Quran?
like different names like we do when we
Read
in different
this.
languages.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
The Lord says, seek out of this book, the book of the Lord, and read. You know?
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. Says what? None shall want her mate.
Man, no other book can mate or come together and be one with the Bible. None shall want her mate. Not the Quran, not any other, not the book of Enoch. No, those other books, yeah, Jasher, Apocalypse of Rachel, and all these other wicked books. The Lord said, none shall want her mate. Read on.
For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Right, so again, brother, there's no mating with the Bible. You will be an Israelite. As an Israelite, you have to keep God's commandments and his oracles. The oracles, give me sorry, go back to Psalm 33 and 3.
Disagree. I'm going to move on. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I do agree that there's different levels to this life and how we have a relationship with God.
So brother, so what you're saying is you still want to cleave to the so-called white man. You want to join with the so-called white man.
I enjoy every spirit that's good.
Do you want to join with the white man?
I will join any spirit
You
that's
still got
positive.
give me 2 Maccabees 3 and verse 2. That's off, brother. You can't join with everybody. That's how you got put into
I
slavery.
understand what you're saying.
That's how you got put into slavery.
So
That's how the Native Americans got put into slavery. Because they wanted to join with the so-called white man.
Right.
How much longer are you going to join with them so they can keep bending your back in and putting you in slavery,
the
brother?
energy that you put out is
Read
what
this
you
in 2
get back.
Maccabees 3.
Y'all not hearing me? I hear you though.
Give me 2 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse number 1.
It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 1. Now when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well, because of the godliness of Onias, the high priest.
Right, so you have a man named Onias, the high priest, a godly man, right? A Levite. Read on.
and his hatred of wickedness.
Right, and this man, he hated wickedness. This man was on a very high level, on the right-hand side. Read on.
It came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor the place and magnify the temple with their best gifts.
Right.
Insomuch that Seleucus, king of Asia, of his own revenues, bear all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices.
Right.
But one Simon
Said, but what?
But one Simon,
Was the chief cook?
but one Simon
Said, but one Simon. Read on.
of the tribe of Benjamin,
Right.
who was made governor of the temple, fell out with the high priest about this order.
Right, so this man, he fell out with Onias. They had a fallout about, running the temple, running the kingdom. A, B, and C was going to happen, was going to lead up to, certain things. But again, Onias was a righteous man. So Simon, his mind was bad. He wanted the preeminence. He wanted the glory. He wanted to seek and go to the so-called white man. Read on.
And when he could not overcome Onias, he gave him to Apollonius.
He did what?
He gave him to Apollonius.
Right, and he got himself to the so-called white man and white woman. He said, you know what, since my brother, who's righteous, who doesn't want to do what I want to do, I'm going to join to the so-called white woman. I'm going to join to the so-called white man. Maybe they'll hear me. Maybe they can hear me out. Maybe they'll, want to listen to what I got to say. Maybe they'll have to seek my benefit. You know?
And so much, but one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, verse 5.
You got a question? Come on, no, come on.
What are you guys about? What's your
Let's go step on the side.
Black Hispanic?
So we teach that the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men are God's chosen people.
Right.
And that us as so-called black people, we have to separate from the so-called white man and white woman and the other races.
Right.
Now, when you look at the sign, how do you feel about the sign? What comes to your mind when you look at slavery, pillaging, by the hands of your ancestors?
Right. Well, I'm actually Jewish, so I have no, my ancestors were not involved with slavery.
You're Jewish?
Yeah.
Didn't the so-called Jewish man fund the wood for the slave ships?
Right.
Let's pull that up, because he just may not know. Let's look that up. Didn't the so-called Jewish man make the slave ships to ship the so-called African American from the West Shores? Hold on. I need you to answer the question. Did your people fund the labor for the wood to ship so-called African Americans?
Filming me?
Can you answer the question?
I don't want to be filmed, but anyway.
So why'd you come up?
Right. I already recorded.
Can you answer the question? Did your ancestors fund slavery?
Enjoy. Good luck.
And you going into slavery? That's why the so-called white men gotta go into slavery. That's Esau for you. See, he thought we was just some niggas. He thought we was just some niggas. Yeah, I'm a Jew. But hold on, did the so-called Jewish man put the so-called black man in slavery, in the captivity, in the bondage? So read this, what you got. You still got that second Maccabees? Finish out on that. Second Maccabees square where you left off. How you doing, brother? I'm alright. You see yourself on the side? Group who were the people during the Roman Empire called niggers. Did you know that? That's right. That's right, brother. You gotta come up and listen. You gotta learn something. I'll read this, Acts 11:26. Now, during this time, you had the apostles. Now, in the Bible, do you believe that the so-called white man is God's chosen people, the Israelite in the Bible? You think the white man is God's chosen people?
Not really, bro.
Read Acts 13:1 first. Read this.
It's the book of Acts chapter 13 verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon.
You had certain men that was teachers in the early church ages. You had Paul, you had Simon, you had Barnabas, you had Christ and the apostles that came after him. You know?
And Simeon that was called nigger.
That was called what?
That was called nigger.
You had people during the Roman Empire that was actually called niggers.
See that?
What nation of people today is called nigger?
Damn. That's crazy.
Now, what race of people is called niggers now? Who's called niggers? Boy, black men.
Today, niggas like, the word nigga is like,
But what I'm saying, the word nigger, who is it placed upon? What group of people?
us.
Us. So why is it that in the Bible, you have the prophets and teachers called niggers? You got Christians that were called niggers. Meaning what the men of the Bible are actually so-called black men.
Like today, man, niggas mean like ignorant black people.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean black, dark
Yeah.
skin. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Which means that the people in this book were what? Dark skinned people.
Yeah.
Let's get Acts 11 and 26. Read this.
Acts chapter 11 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first.
So the disciples were called Christians first. We just read that the disciples were called niggers. So the original Christians are the so-called black men, brother.
Right.
So-called Hispanic men. So what's our God-given nationality? Now that's the real question. What did the Lord call us? Did he call us Christian? Did he call us nigger? Did he call us African American? What did he really call us?
Be African American before
John
anything, bro.
1:47. You said what?
Be African American before anything, bro.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought the so-called white men placed that on our people, African American. Did you know that the name African and the word American, it goes back to two different so-called white men? Did you know that? Amerigo Vespucci, he was an Italian map maker. He's a so-called white man. He came over here with Columbus, colonized America, and called it after himself.
Right.
So knowing that, are you American, the name of a so-called white man? No, you can't be.
Right.
Meaning what? That can't be the original name. We're going to show you the original name. Read this.
This is John chapter 1 and verse 47.
Bring it out.
Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed.
What the Lord said?
Behold, an Israelite indeed.
What's his brother real race?
Behold, an Israelite indeed.
Read.
In whom is no God.
So your original race from the foundation, brother, is an Israelite. God's chosen people. When you look on this side, you got 18 nations. God created all 18 races. Each race is still on the earth to this very day. Your race will go back to the biblical name, the Israelites, the real Jews. That makes sense? All right, now us. You said what?
I say you don't think
Who is
Israelites?
in walking order? I swear to God, I won't beat that. You will die. You will die. You will die. You will die.
Hey.
Rock, you got to go. No, Rock, you got to go.
He tried to, the other Ray told him because he yelled, the other Ray like, you got to move around. And then the other Ray keep telling him to move around, he don't want to move, and then he put up the stick and stuff.
Where's security at, man?
You mark 415. Hey, brother, you back? Hold on. Hey, brother, you back? Hey, come get a flight. We got a flight for you. We got a flight for you. All right, you an Israelite.
Brother, take a flight. Get him that flight, please.
Verse number 30. I think it's Nehemiah 13. He's out there handle. Let's get this in Mark.
Book of Mark, chapter 4, and verse 15. And these are
And y'all
they.
gotta repent. Y'all gotta repent and come out of homosexuality. Y'all gotta stop being fags, stop being trays, stop being homosexuals, and come back to the Lord. Read this.
Book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 15. And these are they, by the way, son, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, saying cometh immediately.
The Lord said,
Saying cometh immediately.
again,
Saying cometh immediately.
Satan is always gonna come somehow, shape, or form. And do what?
And taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts.
Right, and next thing all hell break loose. Turn this way, turn that way, and the brother up the street. Now the brother done fleed away. Because Satan hops on certain men to get this word from spreading, to go into and fro. All right, now, you drop that. Let's get this in.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 21.
Get out.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why launch ye about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you.
What you gonna come to find out is that our forefathers, they weren't no nice guys. When the prophets came on the scene, everyone wasn't looking to see the prophets. Everyone wasn't excited to see Samuel come by. Right? Everyone wasn't excited to see Yahushua come by. No, man, when they seen certain men come by, they knew what time it was. They knew these men was coming to set things in order. All right, give me John, hold that, give me John chapter 2 and verse number 14. And the Lord, he made a scourge of whips and drove men out the temple.
Right.
So our fathers, they weren't no nice guys. They weren't no men that was just jolly and they had the long, luscious white hair and they was just trying to preach the word. No, and these men were on another level. They came out in the streets, they exalted the voice, and they got on the inhabitants of the land.
Right.
The same way how we're doing in these last days. So read this.
I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
Jump down to verse number... Yeah, keep reading on that.
Verse 22.
Right.
And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, oh my God. Verse 23, right. In those days also saw I Jews that have married wives of Ashdod.
So only now were the Jews breaking the Sabbath, and Nehemiah had to put hands on them, but he also seen the Jews marrying wives of the other nations. Freaking off. You know?
In those days also saw I Jews that have married wives of Ashdod, right. Of Ammon, and of Moab. You know? And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language.
Yeah, and that's off. Here it is, you marrying another nation, and they're speaking what the mother speak. Imagine you got a kid, your kid speaking Chinese. That's off. You got a kid, your kid speaking Aramaic. That's off. You got a kid, he's speaking the language of the so-called Japanese man. Right, so read on, and that was happening. Right, you're in Jerusalem, and somehow your kid is speaking the language of the oppressor. Read on.
But according to the language of each people, and I contended with them and cursed them.
See, he contended with them. And y'all got to repent and keep God's commandments.
Right.
If you are Israelites, you'll be an Israelite, brother. It's not no game up here. You got to repent and keep God's commandments. Read on.
And I contended with them and cursed them. Right. And smote certain of them.
And did what?
And smote certain of them.
The ancestors do.
And smote certain of them.
The prophets do.
And smote certain of them.
And said he smote certain of them, man. So Nehemiah was going around looking for people to lay hands on. Why? Because our people so hard-headed and so stiff-necked, sometimes that's the only way you got to get to them. Give me Proverbs 18 and verse 6. All right, give me Proverbs 18 and 6 and read this.
It's the book of John, chapter 2, and verse 14.
Right.
And found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, right. And the changers of money sitting. Right. And when he had made a scourge of small cord,
he did what?
And when he had made a scourge of small cord.
It said Christ, he made a scourge of small cords. Why the hell is someone making a scourge of small cords? What do you do with a scourge? Right, read on.
He drove them out of the temple.
It said he made a scourge, then he was driving men out the temple. Hey, out of all the accounts in the Bible, this is one account that I would love to see, man. Right, Yahweh, he's sitting back, he meditating as he did making a scourge. Right, he getting the right type of damn rope. He making it tight, and he said he drove men out the temple, man.
Right.
So that's what our ancestors did. Right, they weren't playing around with folly. They weren't playing around with foolishness.
Right.
And the men and women in 2024, they got lucky with the service of the Lord. Because Lord, I mean, again, the Lord didn't send us out here to, lay hands on people. But back then, if you was in the ancient world, you would have got put to death. You would got your ass beat. All right, dealing with the service of the Lord, amen, God knows what could have happened. All right, give me this and what you got, Proverbs 18 and 6.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 6. A fool's lips enter into contention, right. And his mouth calleth for stroke.
And his what?
And his mouth calleth for stroke.
Right, and a lot of foolish men, your mouth, you talking too much, that calls for strokes. Come. Right, and your mouth, that kind of calls for strokes. You talking too much, trying to get in the service of the Lord's face, and things happen. All right, but give me this in 2 Corinthians 2, verse number 11.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right, and we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, we know Satan's gonna come again. He's gonna come in all ways, all different ways, shapes, and forms. And you doing that, hey, that may just cause you to get put to death. All right, that may cause you to get put to death. All right, give me 1 Samuel chapter 10 and verse number 2.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
All right, actually 16. Give me 1 Samuel 16. Read.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel?
Right.
Fill thine horn with oil, and go, I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons.
Right, so the Lord, he commanded Samuel to go into Jesse, because he has chosen a king amongst his sons. Now we're going to see when Jesse got to that land, how the people received, Samuel, how did the people receive Samuel? Were they happy to see him? They greet him with open arms and hugs and kisses. I see how men greeted Samuel. Read on.
Verse 2, and Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me.
Now look, I want y'all to listen to this verse. All right, read on.
And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. Verse 4, and Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming.
So when you had a righteous man, Samuel, when he came to the elders of the town, they said, these men, they trembled when they seen Samuel. Why do you think these men trembled when they seen Samuel? Why do you think that happened? When they seen this righteous man come up to them, they got scared. They felt the Lord's presence. Do you think these people in 2024 feel the Lord's presence? No. I mean, just look. You got men and dresses. You got women and nothing. You got all type of lewd wickedness and folly going on. Do you think America is a nation that seeks God? No. So if America doesn't seek God, nor the people that's in America, then that means that you, brother, you should be different. You should want to be different. You and your woman, you should want to learn and strive how to seek the Most High. Now, according to the Bible, how do you seek the Lord? How do you seek the Lord according to the Lord? According to the Bible. Do you believe in the Bible? All right, now, let me guess you grew up in a Christian church. So that's the thing. A lot of so-called black and Hispanics, we grow up in a Christian, a Catholic church. Those churches, they're not set up to teach our people. Those churches are set up to actually divide and conquer our people. All right, get you docile. Get you relaxed in this society. Let you know everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be all smooth, and it is what it is. According to the Bible, brother, all hell is about to break loose. Do you believe that we're in the last days? For sure. But yet, you got the Christian church. They're still telling people if you pay $20 in alms, then God will bless you with a mansion. Granny been giving $20 every Sunday.
Right.
And guess what? She's still taking the bus to church. While the pastor got a damn private jet. So again, you want to come back to the Lord, that's only one way by doing that. Read this.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
The Lord said how you really seek him is fearing him and keeping his commandments. Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 64. And it's for you too, sis. As so-called black and Hispanic man, woman, and child in the last days, the Lord has required us to keep the commandments. If I was to ask you how you define being a man, what would it be?
God-fearing.
God-fearing. Right, God-fearing.
God-fearing, discipline.
And you an Israelite, sister. You said what?
Discipline.
Discipline, all right? It's a key part of this. All right, we're going to show you that. Give me first, you can drop that shoe off. Read this. Shoe off, brother.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore, ye my sons, be violent, and show yourselves men.
The Lord said, be valiant, and show yourselves men. So the Lord is about to tell a man how you really become a man according to the Bible. A lot of men in society, they say, you know, you got to work out, you got to be 6 foot, You gotta make 100 grand a year. So that's what the world say. The Lord said how you be a valiant man of the Lord, a mighty man, is to what?
Show yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
On a what?
The behalf of the law.
So you show yourself a man on the behalf of God's laws. That's how you really become a man, as an Israelite. Because again, this world, I'm pretty sure you see yourself with a sign. They probably called you African American, or would you see yourself in a sign so-called African American? So you being a so-called black man, brother, you'll go back to the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. Now, does that word Judah sound familiar? Jews? What you know about the Jews? The Hebrews. But who are the real Jews? Jeremiah 4:17. Who are the real Jews? That's the real question. It's a lot of people saying that they're the Jews. Right. The people over there in Israel, they say they're the Jews. Right. You got everyone saying that they God's chosen people. Right. You got the Arab man. He said that he was chosen. Right. Somehow he got the covenant. So who's really God's chosen people? It's us. According to the Bible, we will be the real Jews. Right. Give me Jeremiah 14:2.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. No. Judah mourneth in the gates thereof, language. Right. They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
The real Jew?
They are black. Read unto the ground. Right. And the cry of Jerusalem is going up.
So the Lord said the real Jews, they're black unto the ground. And when you look at the ground, you know it's different shades of brown. The deeper you go, the browner and darker it gets. The Lord likened that same thing to the Jews. The Lord said when he created man, he created them from the dust of the ground. So even the so-called original man was a melanated man. So you, brother, you being a real Jew, an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, you can't call yourself African American anymore. Like we always say, that's the name of two different so-called white men. You will be God's chosen people. Give me second Esdras 10:22. All those labels that they placed upon our people, you want to cast that away. Actually, drop that. Give me 1 Kings 9:7. All those bywords, those racial slurs, calling you African American, a nigger, you want to cast all that away. All right, read this. 1 Kings 9:7.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 9, verse 7. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them.
And that's what happened. We're the Israelites. The Lord said he cut us off from our land. So we in slavery, right? We in the cotton field, we in comiendes. We get picking cotton and corn, working for the so-called white man in slavery. The Lord said he cut us off from our heritage. That's what happened. You know?
In this house which I have hallowed for my name, will I cast out of my sight. In Israel shall be a proverb and a byword.
That again?
A proverb and a byword.
So the Lord says you're not going to have that name Israel anymore. Now you're going to be a proverb and a byword, which in a nutshell are just racial terms, right? A byword, that's a let's say that's like a stigma, right? Black people, they love watermelon and chicken, right? Mexicans, all they do is cut grass. Black people, they lazy. Now all these proverbs and bywords, the Lord said that will come upon the Israelites. So you being an Israelite, brother, you gotta wash that African American out your mind. Wash that white supremacy out your mind. You're going to come to find out that you will actually be God's chosen people. All right? So you being God's chosen people, again, like we read, the Lord, he set us up commandments. I'm going to read you a few commandments before you peel off, all right? Let's get Leviticus 11. Do you pork? Yeah, how about you, sis? Do you pork? Do you pork? Yeah, so according to the Bible, and these, if you don't mind me asking, do you see yourself on that sign? Where do you see yourself at? Puerto Rican, likewise with the so-called Puerto Ricans. You will come from the tribe of Ephraim. We go into the history, they also come from the Israelites. So read this.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divided the hoof and be clubbed-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
So the Lord said the pig, that is unclean unto the so-called black and Hispanic man. Can't eat pig. Even when you look at the attributes of a pig, it got all type of worms. All right, some worms you put it in that little so-called radiator machine, right? You try to burn all the way the wickedness and all the worms. There's certain worms that just don't burn away with the pig. So for that reason, the Lord said, no eat pig. It's a filthy and disgusting animal. You know?
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
Don't even touch a dead pig, because it's unclean. And then you even look at these videos of the pig that eating rats, eating maggots. A man came out and said, you know, he kind of feed dead bodies to pigs. The so-called, let's slip in my mind what Issachar do. How they kill you and then they damn feed you to the pigs. Yeah, the so-called cartel. Right, they get rid of people by way of the pig. Pig eat everything up, and you next thing you know, you eating the pig. Now you eating a damn another so-called black man, another so-called white man or Mexican. Now you a cannibalist because you eating the pork. For that reason, the Lord said, no pork, no pig for the so-called black man. You're holy, you're different, you're set apart, you're above all nations. Don't do what the so-called white man do. Look at his stomach; it's all poked out, he's fat. That's all that pig that he eats. You don't want to be like that, bro. So read on.
Verse 9, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Out of the waters, likewise. If you want to eat it, it has to have fins and scales. So what's some things that come out the water that has both fins and scales? Fish. What about catfish? Does that got both fins and scales? It got fins, but no scales. The so-called black man, he love catfish. Right? He love going to Sharks. He love going to JJ's and he want to order that catfish. Let me get that catfish right there, that large, that 5-piece. Ain't no 5-piece catfish with the Lord. But guess what? You got clean fish. You got the salmon, the perch, the bass, the red snapper, the cod, the whiting. You got tuna. So, you know, this certain clean fish that you can eat has to have fins and scales. But, read on, and that.
All right. Yeah, verse 10, and all that have not fins and scales.
That don't got fins and scales. Read on.
In the seas, in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
But if it don't get fins and scales, the Lord said that's an abomination. Right. Don't eat it. Don't look at it. It's not for you to eat. At all. It's an abomination unto the Lord your God. Right. So that's one easy commandment. Do you believe that you can keep that commandment? No more pork. No more shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters. That's good. And these are easy commandments. Lord said no more pork, but guess what? You got the beef, got the cow, you got the venison, the oxen, the deer, the chicken, the turkey, the lamb. You got a lot of clean meats. But that pork, no sir. All right, all that shrimp, crab, and lobster, no fins and no scales, that's a no-go. All right, let's go to Leviticus 19.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe time.
Another commandment is no observing the times, no astrology. No looking at the stars and saying, okay, the star right there, you lining it up. You call yourself a Libra or a Pisces or a Sagittarius. All right, that's all called star worship. Right. All right, you worshiping the signs of the heavens. You do that, you get into that. How about you, sister? You get into that? That's good. I want to stay out of that. You going?
Verse 27, ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Yeah, that's easy. Don't make yourself bald. All right, you don't want to shave. You cut it low. But you don't want your hair bald like Michael Jordan. Next thing you know, people they coming up behind you, they palming your head, smacking your head, they putting baby oil on you. You don't want that to happen. That's a sin. Right. Another one is said, no more on your beard. Meaning as a man, you have to have a beard on your face. A beard is a badge and a sign of manly dignity. Because women, they can't grow beards. A man, he's likened unto a lion. Read 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse number 2. Even your forefather, Judas Maccabeus, he was likened to a lion. A lion, a male lion, it has a mane, right? Have you seen a lion trying to scratch his head up against a tree and cut his mane? No. The bigger that mane is, the more ferocious that lion looks. Same thing as a man, you want to have that beard on your face. Now, you can keep it low, you can grow it out. Nevertheless, you got to have that beard on your face. Read this.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 2. And all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So he gave his people great honor, and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girt his warlike harness about him, and made battles, and he made battles, protecting the host with his sword.
We're talking about Judas Maccabeus, a so-called black man. We doing during the time of the Grecian Empire. We doing.
In his acts, he was like a lion.
He was like a what?
He was like a lion.
The black man compared to?
He was like a lion.
Your forefather, how he went to war, how he was slaying the Grecians. All right, slaying all these other nations. They see he was like a lion. We doing? Not just no regular lion. Because you know, you may have a cub, that's a lion. Or you may have a female lion. We'll see what type of lion he was likening to. We doing?
And like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey.
Doing what?
Roaring for his prey.
Repeat that again?
Roaring for his prey.
He was like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. Meaning everything he seen, and he was after it. He seen a so-called white man trying to get away. He grabbed that javelin, he threw that javelin at him. Why? Because he was a man keeping God's commandments. And again, that beard of bashful honor is likened to that lion that you want to have. That spirit that you want to have on the right-hand side. So that's another commandment. Are you growing out your beard? Let's get Exodus 20. It's the last one we'll get you. Exodus 20 and verse 8.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So you have something called the Sabbath. The Sabbath is on the 7th day of the week. You ever heard about the Sabbath? What you know about the Sabbath?
Don't work on that day.
That's right, no work. I know buying or selling. It's a day of rest. It's a day that you want to concentrate and give to the Lord. Like right now, today is the Sabbath. The Lord said the 7th day of the week. What day is the 7th day of the week?
Sunday.
Is it the 7th day?
7th.
Yeah, look at your phone, look at your calendar. All right, what's the first day of the week? And then what's the last day of the week? Because again, the church, they taught us that Sunday was the Sabbath day. So what's the first day of the week? Start with an S. What day is that?
Sunday.
Sunday, that's the first day of the week. So Sunday is the first day of the week. And why is the church keeping the Sabbath on the first day of the week? Read that again, that last part.
But the seventh day.
But the what?
But the seventh day.
Not the first day.
But the seventh day.
The 7th day of the week, the last day, read on.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
It's the Sabbath day. And what day is that? That's Saturday. So Saturday is the true Sabbath day. You have Sunday, go all the way to Monday to Friday. Then you got Saturday, the last day of the week. And that's the day that you're really supposed to rest on. All right, give unto the Lord. That's what we out here. Doing the work of the Lord on a Sabbath day. That makes sense? So like you said, no buying, no selling, no cooking, no cleaning. All that got to be done in 6 days. Right. Give me Genesis 2 and 1. All right, Genesis 2 and 1. But that 7th day, it's all of this. You know, you got to, again, you got to chill. Read this.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1.
Right now.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had made.
Even on the 7th day of the week, you had God. Even he rested on that day. How much more his creation? That makes sense? See, that don't make sense?
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh, so God, on the last day, he even rested from his works when he made the heavens and the earth. So if God rested from his works, how much more should we rest from our works on the 7th day of the week? That make more sense? So, you know, if God kept the Sabbath, we got to keep the Sabbath. All right? So we got a flyer for you, brother. All right, we got a, hey, Elder, give him a flyer. So before you leave, brother, we'll give you a pop quiz. According to the Bible, what's 3 commandments that we got to keep? What's 3 commandments?
Eat clean food, so no pork.
No pork?
No, nothing.
What if it's free?
Free?
Yeah, what if it's free? What if I got mouse sauce on it? Yeah, what if grandma cooking or mom's cooking? I mean, you was at work all day and she get in that house, she getting ready to them pork chops. She got pork chops, she got bacon, she got damn ham. And she been laboring all day. You finally come in the house. She's sweating, her back hurt. She got the little puppy eyes. She said, hey baby, I got this pork for you, babe. Are you gonna eat it, brother? No, you can't eat it. They say, okay, mom, you know, according to the Bible, Leviticus 11 chapter verse 7, we the Israelites, I can't eat that. Right. How about you, sis? You gonna keep eating pork? After God said not to? You said no? What? He said what? He said what? Are you gonna? Hold on, but the Lord said don't eat pork. I mean, I didn't say it. The Lord said it.
All right.
Hey, how y'all doing, y'all?
So you gonna keep what the Lord said, or you gonna just do your own thing? Says, well, no pork. All right, but you gotta get. Hey, if you see her with that pork, hey, you gotta get on her in righteousness. You gotta save a soul from death and smack it out of her hand. Or you gotta have that zeal of Phineas and Matthias on the right hand side. You know, so no pork, no shrimp, crab, or lobster. All right, what's another commandment that we know?
No shame.
That's right. No shame. Now again, if you get it, you get a little cut. You kind of do what you want in righteousness, but no baldness and no, you know, you getting that goatee. You gotta have that joint coming in. And what's the last commandment that we went over? Start with an S.
Sabbath.
The Sabbath day. Now what day is the Sabbath?
Saturday.
Saturday, that's right, that's today. The 7th day of the week. Just look at your calendar. Saturday is the 7th day of the week. See how simple that is? And now that's the main question. According to the Bible, what is your nationality? What is your race according to the Bible? Genesis 32:28. You said what?
Israelite.
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear it.
Israelite.
Right, Israelite. Israelites. So you will be an Israelite according to the Bible.
Right.
That's the last verse we're going to leave with. Read this.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 28.
No.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
By your name, you can't call yourself after the name of America anymore. African American, a nigga, real nigga, Negro. Your name is not that anymore, but what?
But Israel.
Oh, what?
But Israel.
But
Israel.
Again?
But Israel.
But Israel, read on.
For as a prince hast thou power with God.
For as a prince have you power with the Most High.
And with men, it has prevailed.
That's what Israel means. A prince that has power with God. And with men has prevailed. So you want to always keep that in your mind, brother. That you are an Israelite. God's chosen people. Right. Now, I know we said I know we said that was the last verse. We got one more commandment. All right, let's get Exodus, right, 7 and verse 25. Exodus 7. Deuteronomy. It's like Deuteronomy 7 and verse 25. All right, you got something called idols. All right, now you know what an idol is?
Someone or something you look up to.
Yeah, something that man creates. They look up to it and they make it as their God. They bow down to it. They worship it. These Psalms, I believe that was 63 and 1. Read this.
So book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
So the Lord said a graven image. A graven image, then you hold that he was in Solomon 14 and verse number 12. The Lord said the graven images that we follow and learned of in America, you want to kind of do away with that. What's one of the main images that Christianity has pushed on our people? What's one of the main images? Like Jesus, the cross, namely though. All right, so the cross is one of the main things that Christianity has pushed on our people. And long behold, brother, you got a cross on your neck. Now, according to the Bible, how did Christ die?
Nailed to the cross.
You got nailed to the cross, right? So why would you wear something, a device that's made to torture the so-called black man? Because during the Roman Empire, again, if you didn't know, now you know, Christ is the so-called black man. The cross was a common way how they executed chief prisoners during the time of the Roman Empire. A lot of those men were so-called black men. So that device on your neck is literally a torture device to kill the race of the so-called black man. And you had Peter. Peter, he was hung on the cross, upside down, T-shaped cross. And that was the rock of the church, right? The one that followed Yahweh Shah, who the Lord set up to be the chief ruler over the church when he left. That's the same device that killed Peter and Christ.
Right.
So, you know, knowing that, brother, you wanna kind of take off. Now you can keep the chain, but you want to do away with the idols. What the Lord said about idols again?
Shall ye burn with fire?
The Lord said those idols, you really want to burn them with fire. You gotta do away with them. You see an idol, that should make your skin crawl. Especially a cross, because the cross, that's what the so-called white man came with. He put our people in slavery, came with the cross, put the so-called Mexicans and Native Americans in slavery, and now what they teach in Catholicism, Christianity, and now it's embedded in your mind that that's the way to go. All right, give me Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Say that again.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
So the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Fornication is when you laying down with another man's wife. Or a woman is laying down, she's married, she's laying down with another man. The Lord says spiritual fornication is when you have a God, but you cleave to another God. And you wearing that cross, brother, that's you cleaving to another God. So, you being a man of the Lord, an Israelite, would you take the cross, and now you keep the chain, but would you take the cross off for the Lord? For the Lord. We just read that same cross was made to kill Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Are you willing to take that cross off for the Lord, brother? Give me Psalms 119 and verse 60. Yeah, you keep the chain. Give me Psalms 119 and verse 60. Hey, brother, after hearing that, do you really want to wear a cross? Or the torture device of the so-called black man? During the Roman Empire? See, it's not a fable, that's an actual torture device. It will hang you on it to where it will suffocate, because your body is hanging. On top of that is nails in your hands, and your lungs will collapse slowly, and you will suffocate as you die slowly on the cross. That's what happened to Christ. And you gonna keep wearing that, bro? Or are you gonna take it off and show the Lord reverence? You gonna take it off, brother? Yeah, they say, I mean, and he got the crown of thorns in his head. On top of that, you gonna still wear the cross, brother? Or are you gonna take it off for the Lord? Which one? You gonna what? You gonna wear the cross? After it was made to crucify your King and your Lord and to torture him. Why, bro? Why? Huh?
It's a reminder.
A reminder of how he got put to death? That's how you want to remember? Hold on, but we just read that it's a sin to wear a cross. Did we not just read that it's an idol? Did we not just read it? And you still want to decide to sin against your God? Bring out what you got. Psalm 73.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandment.
That again?
I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandment.
Just take your time.
I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandment.
No, just one brother out here.
I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandment.
The Lord said, I made haste and delayed not to keep the commandments.
Right.
Meaning when David, when he heard the commandments, and he made sure he was on it. Okay, no idols, let me take this off the door. That's what David did. All right, fringes, okay, let me make sure I got my fringes on. David said, I made haste and delayed not to keep his commandments. Are you going to delay and just not take off the cross? As the Lord is looking at this account happen, he's looking at you, hearing the words how he got crucified. How he was crying, sweating little tears. And you're still going to wear it, brother? Tears of blood at that. And you still going to wear the cross. Give me Joshua chapter 7. Right, give me Joshua 7, verse 10. Come on, what you got? Give me Joshua 7 and 10. I don't think that's what I want. No, give me Joshua 7 and 10.
Chapter 7 and verse number 10. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant. Verse 21.
Right.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment and 200 shekels of silver.
So you had this man. Now this man, he went into the heathens and he gathered some of their idols and took them for himself. Read on.
And a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight. Then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth.
So this man said he found the idols of these other nations. He took them up and he hid them in the earth. So that right. So this man, he's covered in idols like you doing. You're covered in that idol that's on your neck. We're going to see what happened to this man for covered in idols of the strange nations. Because you're a white man, he made that idol. You think Peter was walking around with a cross on his neck? You think John, James, you think these men were walking around with the cross on their neck? No. All right, Timothy, these men wasn't doing that because they know that that's an idol, a graven image. You know?
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent.
So they found the idols. Joshua, man, if you ran into Joshua with that on the ancient world, things could have happened. All right, hey brother, you got that on, and you ran into Joshua, the servant of Moses, hey, things would have happened. Read on.
And they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent,
right,
and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent,
right,
and brought them unto Joshua.
Right, so they found these idols, and they brought it to Joshua and said, hey Joshua, look what this man got. Got all type of wickedness and folly in this tent. What the hell is this? You know?
And unto all the children of Israel,
right,
and laid them out before the Lord.
right.
And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold,
right,
and his sons and his daughters, and his oxen and his asses, and his sheep and his tent, and all that he had.
right,
And they brought them unto the valley of Achor.
right.
And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
This what?
This day.
Wear idols?
This day.
So he said, because you want to wear idols and you want to trouble your nation, I'm going to trouble you this day. Read on.
And all Israel stoned him with
What
stones.
happened for one idol?
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
No, they just let him pass.
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
Listen, man, he got stoned with stones for wearing an idol on his neck. And you still going to wear that idol on your neck, brother? You still going to be prideful and wear the idol on your neck after the Lord said don't wear any idols? Are you going to take... You said what? It's an idol because there's no account of anyone walking around with a cross. The cross again is a torture machine, a tactic that was used to kill Christ.
Right.
Not only Christ, but Peter. Not only Peter, but the righteous men that didn't want to bow down to the ways of the Roman Empire. That was why the cross was used.
That cross was influenced by Christianity, right? So that's a symbol that they use for Christianity, and obviously people wear it. And you're wearing it right now because you were influenced that it's a spiritual thing, right? And that it's righteous. And you want to do the right thing, obviously. That's why the brother's trying to tell you, he's bringing out the precepts for you. You get what I'm saying?
Right, so again, even according to history, that cross is an idol. The cross even goes back to the so-called Ankh. You know what the Ankh is? Well, you got to do your research on the Ankh. It got the same characteristics as an Ankh. And again, Christianity that all go back to sun worship, Sunday, sun worship, and that's their little symbol that they chose to go with it. Again, after Christ died, you don't read about Peter having a cross on. You don't read about Timothy, Bartholomew. You don't hear about these men having on crosses because they knew that that was an idol, according to the Bible. Now it is certain things that you can wear pertaining to the Bible, in the tabernacle and things like that. But the cross specifically, you don't want to wear. See what a brother got on. Brother got on no chain. Right? Nah, nobody got on a chain. Nevertheless, you don't want to wear a Ankh or a cross. All right. So again, I wanted to take that off for the Lord. You brought out the history. Actually pull that up. Look up cross idolatry. Again, brother, the so-called black men are known for being hung on that cross. Give me Acts 5 and 29. All right, let's get Acts 5 and verse 29. Y'all, he looked that up.
Acts 5 and 29.
Book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse number 29.
Yep.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said,
Verse 28.
verse 28, saying, did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled.
Verse 31. Verse 31.
God, verse 31. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior.
Yeah, start at verse 29 again. I'm going on. Verse 29.
Verse 29 from the top. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
So the Lord said we ought to obey God rather than man. Man told you the word cross. God never said the word cross. The so-called white man, again, when he set up the Christian church and Christianity, he brought on his own religions and his own doctrine to flood out your mind with idols. That's what he did with that. You know him?
The God of our fathers raised up Jesus.
Raised up who?
Raised up Jesus.
Raised up who?
Raised up Jesus.
Raised up Christ. You know him?
Whom he slew and hanged on a tree.
It said that same man, he died on a tree. That tree is that cross that's made out of wood. So again, you're gonna wear something that the Lord, he got gruesomely put to death on. I mean, we going toward those crown of thorns to what?
I was gonna say, because you say you wear it to remember him, right? We have commandments specifically for you to remember the Lord and his commandments.
Right.
So there's already commandments for that. It's not a commandment to wear a cross.
Right, you ever heard of Passover?
I heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Guess what? Passover is a commandment in the Bible for you to remember the Lord. How he gave up the goats.
Right.
How he's that lamb without spot and without blemish. That's how you remember the Lord, by keeping Passover. The Lord didn't say, okay, in the first month and the 14th day of the month at even, make a cross and remember the Lord. He didn't say that. He said, sacrifice and kill the lamb. All right, kill that lamb, consecrate it to the Most High, eat it for Passover. That's how we remember what the world calls Christ.
Right.
Now, bring this up.
Right? Look it up. What is considered idolatry in the Bible? Idolatry in Judaism and Christianity.
And what?
And Christianity.
It's man idolatry.
And Christianity.
And Christianity. What that cross symbolizes. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65. You know?
The worship of someone or something other than God as though it were God.
That's what people do at the cross. They worship as something as if it is the Most High. Men, I mean, you go on every one of these churches, they got that big nasty cross, right? That's just at the top of the church. And people, they bow down to it. And the cross ain't nothing different from the cobblestone. You know all those Arabs that go to the cobblestone and Mecca, they bow down, they make out with the rock and they kiss and they spin on it. It's the same thing people do with the cross. They bow down in that cross, thinking that a so-called white man with blue eyes and long luscious hair died on it. That's what they think. They think somebody like him died on the cross. Nobody, he's not down on the cross. Our people died on the cross, brother. And you got that same torture device on your neck. That's the point that we make. You gotta do away with that. All right. Now that's it on that. Bring up what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64.
Right.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
So the Lord said in slavery, we got carried from one part of the earth to the other. Then we get carried from the west shores of Africa to America. That happened. That's what the Lord said. You get carried from one part to the other. You know?
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Right, because again, David, he didn't know about the cross. All right, Christ, he didn't even know that. Well, not Christ, but the descendants. All right, Peter, the apostles, these men didn't know about these newly gods, how their descendants was going to get carried away into slavery. You know?
Even wood and stone.
What's the other god?
Even wood and stone.
What's the chief emblem for the wood, for a wooden god? All right, when the so-called pilgrims came over here to the Native Americans, you even see it on these different ships.
Every church.
Right, in every church, they had this wooden figure. What wooden figure was that? It was the cross.
Right.
It was that cross. They came upon those nasty ships. They had the cross in their hand. It was made out of wood. Or do we just read that Christ got hung on a tree? What is a tree made out of? Wood. So that's the same thing that the so-called white man carried over here, was that wood. Read that from the top again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right.
And there thou shalt serve other gods,
Right.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known,
Other gods. Right, read on.
even wood and stone.
And that wood and stone represents the cobblestone, that stone, and it represents the wood, which is that Christianity cross. So again, brother, are you still wanting to keep that after we went into it, brought up the precepts? Are you still wanting to keep that on the cross? After we just read, give me 1 Timothy 2:9. Right? After we just read that Christ is our Passover, and that's how we remember Christ and his death, burial, and resurrection. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 6. 1 Peter, it's like 1:19. It's like 1 Peter 1:19. We're gonna show you how you actually remember Christ according to the Bible. It's like you said, you want to remember the Lord. You want to get to know the Lord. This is how you actually remember the Lord, is by keeping the commandments. Read this.
It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. But with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who barely was foreordained before the foundation of the world.
That's how you remember Christ. Remembering him during Passover as that lamb. Also, with the multitude of feast days, you know, that come with following the Lord, right? First fruits, Pentecost, and these different things. Keeping the commandments is how you know and remember the Lord. Give me 1 John 2 and verse 3. Give me 1 John 2 and 3, real quick.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him.
So, do you know the Lord? Would you say that you know Christ?
Probably not how I should.
Probably not how you should. But this is how you get to know Christ. Again, this is not my words. We're reading that out the Bible. The Lord said this is how you know Christ. You know, and this man John, he walks with the Lord. So if anyone would know how to serve the Lord, it would be the man that walks with him, right? Let's see this. Read it from the top.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
You know the Lord?
If we keep his commandments.
Keep going across.
If we keep his commandments.
Do your own thing.
If we keep his commandments.
So you know the Lord by keeping his commandments.
Right.
We just read you a couple commandments.
Right.
Right? You gotta grow your beard out the hair, the Sabbath day.
Right.
No shrimp, crab, lobster, no pork. The Sabbath. These are commandments. That's how you know the Lord. Because the Lord kept the commandments. So if you want to know that, you gotta keep the commandments. And the commandment is no idols. And we just read Deuteronomy 28. That wood, that cross, that's the original idol that Christianity came over here with. We read in the law, Deuteronomy 7. You gotta burn idols, do away with them. We read in Joshua 7 how a man got put to death for having an idol hid up. So knowing that, are you still gonna wear the cross? After, according to the Bible, the Lord said it was a sin.
I gotta do my own research.
All right, brother. Well, yeah, you got a flyer, all right? All right, you got a flyer. So look into the information, all right, King?